So I posted online asking what this is. I didn't even think to look on the bottom. It told me exactly what it is. It's made from recycled glass, handmade in Spain. Hello. Oh my goodness. So I'm having fun because I'm going to recreate it and then I'm going to sell it off. And I looked at a bunch of my stuff that I have and realized I have a house full of stuff that can be resold as it is. And wow, I did some research today and discovered that I really do have a lot to let go of. I had really no idea. So I'm really thankful that this challenge has really had me take a new look, take a new perspective per se. I also watched Discovery Channel Undercover Billionaire, and not just the ones but a few of them, just to give a wide variety, because I'm not one person, or the person, I'm not a big mogul right now. I'm thinking on the small side, but it's more for clearing out. It's time to get things cleared out and then to expand. I have a creative brain. I have hands that love to create. And I even wrote down a little quick challenge here for me, because I struggle with tooting my own horn. I'm a very humble, quiet person when it comes to sharing about me. So it's time to speak up and share. That's what I'm getting ready to do. I grew up in a middle-class family. All my needs were met and some of my wants. I learned to ride a bicycle, but cannot now due to my right foot the way it is. I learned about music, singing, acting, the performing arts. I really got into this. I learned to play piano and some guitar. I don't use the pick. I was part of school and church choir between middle school and high school. I did live theater in middle school and church in high school. By high school, I had to let the performing arts go because I didn't know I had access to theater in high school, only in church at that point, and was cut off in the 10th grade. That cutoff was not to my own doing, but yet it was because of my lack of understanding of how high school worked. My light high school years were in retail, accounting, and business. I also had mission training in middle school and high school, and I'm going to do a separate video on this because of the nature and what it could mean for people. I want to encourage, inspire, motivate others to discover their inner charm and self-worth. Now, by my senior year, I was diagnosed neurodivergent. In those days, it was precise ADHD, bipolar, dyslexia. Since then, bipolar has been questioned and reversed. A new diagnosis of compound post-traumatic stress disorder, or CPTSD. The truth is that labels can hurt you in social circles. And friends, they can be used and teased in this form. So just being careful. So I studied accounting and thought about becoming a CPA until the dyslexia was found real bad in my numbers. I was then caught into an arranged marriage and human trafficking, which I may talk about, but not here. I am a mom of 3 and will stop at that until a later time. I'm a living kidney donor. I traveled to Mexico throughout the western U.S. and shared about my faith and how my living day to day was one of gratitude and fulfillment. I had a court order that ended up being a bench warrant for my arrest. That is still on my record to this very day. This issue is that it's been null and void for almost 20 years, the reason for it, for the bench warrant. And that's a story for another day. I never ended up in jail, just a ton of paperwork for it. And I'll end with that cliffhanger. I have issues with paying rewarding an abuser. Next, I was involved in performing arts in a very backwards way. He was a performer. I received a lot of connection because of him. This is also when I began to realize on my own I am a nothing. With these men, husbands, and is when I became something. This never felt right for me. I was dealing with a narcissistic pompous ass. I couldn't understand how I could feel this way. I just knew I did. I lost my husband from Mexico and fell into a spot of emptiness. I couldn't understand. My mom took me to church in hopes it would help. It did, and yet it didn't. New life with a man from youth. I found that we had a mutual love and invited me to grow. We invited each other to grow. Had issues with childhood carbon monoxide poisoning, he did, and that took his life. I was his non-paid caregiver in the last year of his life. Many said I should not have gotten paid since I was his wife. My problem is, if that is the same for someone else, I would have gotten paid. And if someone else came in, they would have. But because of a marriage certificate, I could not. He had special needs that traditional caregivers wouldn't understand. The order that put a yoke of bondage with requirement to work was released November 18th, 2018, just before my last husband passed. I've been in the house that I'm currently in off and on since 1983. My uncle bought it in May of 1980. I have expressed desire to buy this property from my uncle. This brings me to my why for a lot of things. The desire for getting an income on my terms. I don't mind hard work, I just have to get more creative. My family has a 45-year story here, and I desire it to be a lot longer. And that 45-year story here is in this house. It has taken on 4 generations of our family. Now, there is a homeless crisis in the state of Oregon, especially in Portland, Oregon. I was homeless for 3 days, and I don't want my family to ever feel it, which is why I want to get this house. But before I can do that, I have to clear it out of everything and show that I can handle it, which is why I wrote that down so I could really have it precise and organized. I have a lot of crafting materials that I'll be selling off. Vases. I loved collecting vases, but I'm letting go of them. So as I clear things out, things will begin to transpire into new things. Today I was able to bring in some more income, deposited some monies into the bank. I'm going to keep going from this. I am determined that I am going to make this, finding one way or another. Now, me sharing that piece is actually an outline for a book that I'm going to be writing. I'm not going to share the title until it's completely finished, but I just had to share the overall activities, who I am, what I'm about. I'm very crafty. I'm very creative. I'm this thing between my ears called my brain works very, very well and very creative. I've been told by my late husband and a very special girlfriend that my challenge is follow through, and I am determined to follow this all the way through. So without taking up further time, I just wanted to share these are my updates for today. I discovered what this is. I discovered that I have a lot more to offer than what I give myself credit for, and a lot of dishes, a lot of different things, and I'll probably share those as well on here in video because I'm going to sell them off. Until next time, thank you for watching.